Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and tonight we are going to be doing a drawing stream. So I mentioned it earlier today in my crochet stream, but this will be my last scheduled stream for a little while I focus on getting a job and moving. Hey Flex, you made it. But I will periodically still have streams. And I will publish them on my Discord. So let's talk about Discord. First of all, there's a couple of features. This is my Discord. It is this isn't a link. This is just the address. But you can get a link from the chat. There you go, Flux, thank you. By typing an ! Discord. You also can click on my name and there's an About tab, and under that tab there's a button that says Discord, and you can do there, or you can just type this in your browser. That would work too. However you get there, come join Discord, and here's some reasons why. First of all, see my lovely name lighting up here when I talk. That is because I am live on Discord, and you can join me in stream chat, which means you could be live with me on my stream, talking and asking questions, and everyone is welcome to join. Let me take you over to Discord and show you a couple other features. Okay, so first things first, notice that I'm in reference photos. So over here on the left is all of my channels. ArtCrit is where we post our art and we can talk about it. Reference photos is where I post the photo of the day. So today we're going to be doing the human skull. You can make it bigger by clicking on it, and make it even bigger by clicking Open Original, and that will open it in your browser. All right, so that's that. Just Chatting is for exactly what it says, just chatting. Mature Art, if you're over 18, you can join. It's a pretty dead channel. We don't put a whole lot there, but I wanted to have it just in case someone did want to post something that may be a little bit mature, because I do have children that are on this Discord server. So that is 18 and over, and you can just private message me and I can add you to that. If you want to be on the stream chat, you just click here on stream chat and you will instantly be added, and your icon will show up here. Okay, that is Discord. So now, another little bit of housekeeping is I want to talk about my supplies that I use. I always put in my ads when I talk about my classes that you can use a number 2 pencil and a piece of paper, and that is 100% correct. In fact, Flux and I were talking about it in my stream earlier today, that it's the absolute simplest thing you can do is pick up a piece of paper and a pencil and just draw. And it's meditative and mindful, and it always improves your skills, especially if you're looking at the object that you are trying to draw, which is why we're doing a still life study today of the skull. Okay, so while you can use a number 2 pencil, piece of paper, I don't use that in the stream because it doesn't show up very well in my particular lighting. So I use a pencil set. And by the way, I always have handy, the number 2 pencil eraser goes away pretty quickly. So I highly recommend a kneaded eraser, which looks like this. Kneaded eraser, it looks all beat up, but that's because you can make it into a point or something like that, and voila, then you can get erase little tiny areas. But I also like some big chunky erasers, because you never know when you need to erase big lines. And since we're doing a lot of guidelines today, we will be using those. Always keep a pencil sharpener close by. Never know when you need that. So this particular art set is called Gioconda. It's by Koh-i-Noor is the brand. And I like this set because it's got a wide range of pencil types. So I've got charcoal, I've got lead, and I've got graphite. Graphite's mostly what we're going to be using today. It also has some chalk, some sepia tone chalk colors if you want to add just a little bit of color. And we do use those sometimes in my classes, although I recommend for people using a number 2 pencil to just use like a colored pencil for that. It also has this handy dandy spreader, which looks pretty chewed up, but that's because I've peeled it and I attempted to sharpen it. That didn't work out so well. I just need to use a knife and just scrape it. But anyway, what this does is this allows you to blend, but also blend deep into corners. And I'll show you what you can do if you need to blend and you don't have one of these. Although these are pretty inexpensive, you can buy them like at Walmart or anything like that. Okay. So I also have a drawing pad. I like to use Strathmore, but there are other brands that are just as good. Canson is very good. I specifically use drawing and not the other type is sketching. So you can get a sketch pad, but sketch pad paper is a little bit thinner. And hello, is that Teacher Margot? Is that Molly? So anyway, it's heavier paper. So, all right, let's go ahead and open up to a page. Like I said, you can use number 2 pencil if you want. Now,
it's me.
I was going to say, it looks like Molly's showing up online, so she has joined our Discord chat. Welcome, Molly.
Hi.
Okay, so to go ahead and get ready. I am just going to use, again, if you're using a number 2 pencil, you'll be using that same pencil the whole time. But since some of the people that are joining do actually have pencil sets, I will call out what I'm using. So first I'm going to use a 2B pencil. The B, by the way, stands for bold. So if you look here that says 2B, if you have the higher the numbers, so this is like a 6B, that means the bolder or darker it is. Now you also have H. I don't happen to have any H pencils because those are mostly used for technical drawing like drafting or used sometimes in illustration because you can get very, very thin lines. It is harder, so it is H for hard. And they tend to be, you can get very light with them. Okay, I just wanted to point out on here that this is a number 2 pencil. Most of them will have it. It says HB on it. See right there? That means that the number 2 pencil is directly in the middle between the hard and the bold scales. So there you go. That's number 2. All right, 2B or not 2B. That is the question. And you know, since we are doing what was that? Was that Hamlet? I don't know. That's bad that I don't remember that part of my Shakespeare. But anyway, somewhere there was the skull in it. You know, he had the skull. And here's the thing about the skull. So you'll notice in a lot of artwork, especially oil paintings of still lives from back in like the 16th, 17th century, sometime even before. You'll notice you'll have all these beautiful things, all these rich, like Persian rugs and vases and all these amazing, beautiful things.
What's a vase?
A vase. It's just another way of saying vase.
There might be a problem. So I've not eaten yet, and you've started the stream because I lost track of what time. And what time do you think your stream might end?
This one should be pretty quick. Maybe an hour.
Okay.
Well, in these oil paintings, you would always have like a skull or something like that. And sometimes some of them would get really clever and you look at the still life and if you just looked at it right at a certain angle, you could see a skull, like the whole thing looked like a skull. They would use optical illusion. These are called memento mori. And what that means is the reminder of death. So it was just a popular thing for people to add. Just to remind us that we all have the same end. We're all going to the dirt one day. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, Flux, for telling me that it was Hamlet. I was correct. All right, we can do a couple of things. I might turn this, even though it doesn't really matter because we're doing a square. I'm going to go ahead and turn this landscape orientation. The other way would be called portrait orientation. Normally for a head, I would do portrait. That's why it's called portrait orientation. But because this is square, it doesn't necessarily matter. Okay. So first things first, we're going to draw 2 circles. We're going to draw a bigger circle. And you can kind of sketch this circle. It's okay. This is just like a guide. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to make mine a little darker so that you guys can see it. All right. And then we're going to do a smaller circle right in the front. And it's not exactly halfway over. Like this would be about halfway. And it's a little bit shifted down from halfway. But this just gives us the basic shape of our skull. Now from here, we're going to do a line that curves from the middle to the middle up here, like if you're looking at it this way. Like, and it's going to curve. And then you're going to do another one that curves that way. This is going to help us draw our eye sockets. So in case you were wondering why we were doing these particular curves. And we'll be erasing these guidelines later. Okay. So first we're going to define the shape of the eye sockets. Oops. I'm having trouble with my mouse. Sorry about that. Okay. So first things first, our eyes, okay. Our nose is actually the whole width. I'm going to take off my glasses. I've done this before when talking about eyes. The width in between the corner of this eye and the corner of this eye is equal to one of your eyes. So it's almost like you have 3 eyes going across. Okay, so that's like a measurement that you can go by. So your eyes are actually 1 eye apart. So what we're going to do now, we're looking at this from an angle. Just to remind you, hold on, let me just pull up Discord again. So this is what we're looking at, and see how it's actually looking at us, you know, at an angle here. Okay. So, oops. Reduce that. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is right across the middle here, we're going to do just like a little arch. And that will come down on both sides like that. Then in between the arch, we're going to have like kind of a triangle starting, and then it will scoop up. And this is like the hollow of the nose. Okay. Now on one side, coming from this shape that we made, we're going to have one of our eye sockets come up and then over. And then it will angle back down. We're looking at it from an angle, so it's going to look like it like kind of is an odd shape. All right, now on this side, we need about the same width as this. So it's going to be about right here. So right about here, we're going to do It's going to come up just slightly higher. We're going to do like a square. It's like a rounded square. All right. You can't still live tonight. A bit late, so switching to a tree. We'll still watching lesson. Okay, sounds good. Hopefully this won't last very long. All right, so from the top of the head, we're going to actually start curving down. And there's like a little bit of a dip in our skull, like where the temple is. And then it juts out, and that's where the brow ridge is.
Think straight.
Huh?
I can't think straight.
Probably because you're hungry. Now from the back, so the top of the head does have like a little lump in it. We all like have like weird lumpy heads. Some people have less lumpy heads than others. Those are the people that look okay when they're bald. Most of us are not that fortunate. So I'm going to curve this down. And it's going to actually curve in like that. Now, let's see. Here, we're going to have kind of a line that comes up. This is like our jaw, our mandible, right here. And let's see. This will come down on the side of the circle that we did. It's going to come down and an angle. All right, I'm going to start erasing some of these guidelines just so it looks more clear. Always blow, don't wipe, because your you could smear your drawing. I hear Molly doing the correct thing. I don't know. I don't want to erase the mouth line yet because I'm not sure if we're going to use that or not.
Because I need a lot of sand.
Okay. I feel like my jaw is like a little too far forward. Well, I'll fix it as we go. That's the thing about drawing, is that you can fix as you go. Doesn't always have to be exact. Okay.
Probably.
All right, so the teeth. Here's the deal with the teeth. All right. So let's go ahead, and I am going to actually just erase this inner circle here.
That's all.
I feel like the nose doesn't come far enough down. So I'm going to bring my nose down a little bit.
Yeah. I'm in trouble with the enough.
Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm doing here. All right, so we've got this line, we've got this line, and we've got this coming to here, and then this is going to come down, go like that. Don't be yawning now.
Sorry. I've been sleepy since this morning.
Yeah. I'm just going to shade this in because this is like the part where like it's just cartilage. So we do have some bone here, but then we've got it's open. All right. So this
I'm bringing it.
is the part. There we go. I'm feeling better about that. Proportionally. Now I'm following the reference photo, and again, I encourage you to follow the reference photo as well, so that you know what I'm looking at. All right, from here, from the nose, not too far down, is where you have your teeth. And your teeth are going to come down. We're going to draw like kind of a an umbrella shape. From the nose, like that. It's not too far off of our circle, actually. And then we'll finish using the bottom part of our circle. This is where I think I got off a little bit on my we're just going to shade that in. This is where I think my proportions got off a little bit. This is the thing, you, like I said, you can always fix this as you go. That's why we're just kind of lightly sketching right now. We're not, you know, diving in too much. That's a little too far down. I don't always encourage erasing. I'm a big fan of like the Bob Ross school of thought, which is, you know, have happy accidents, like allow your accidents to kind of dictate.
All right, where's this sand?
There we go. I was like missing a whole part of the jaw here. That's better.
The back.
Okay. So let's fill in these teeth. So the teeth in a skeleton, our teeth actually go up into all the way up to like here. And if you feel it, you can feel like it's rounded, you know. That's our roots. So normally you only see from like here down. But up above here, there's like in our gums, our teeth have roots. That's why if you lose a tooth, you notice it's got the little points at the bottom or at the top, I guess, depending on where you lost it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and define the shape of our teeth. And the way these are going to be is it's just going to be little, almost like piano keys. They just kind of fit on each other, and some of them are kind of crooked looking. This guy, man, he didn't have great teeth. We're going to say that he lived in some society where they didn't really have toothbrush and toothpaste. So I guess they're kind of straight, but they're kind of raggedy too, so. He didn't take care of his teeth. And he probably ate a lot of sugar. That's what we're going to say. So he probably had a lot of cavities. All right. And then you can actually kind of draw your lines up into it, just very lightly. All right, now the bottom teeth are not all going to be meeting. So some of them will, like the ones over on the side, will meet. And they're kind of curved. And again, I'm making them a little bit crooked. He's got some gaps in his teeth, for sure. That might be too big of a gap. All right. Now here we have a little bit of a line kind of coming under our teeth. And I'm going to erase this bottom line that was our guide. And from that line, we're going to have
Maybe it wasn't another.
lines come down. In, like right where the middle of the teeth are, right here, that's where those lines will come down.
Let's start killing some to get out.
I hear Jack talking in the background.
Where you found the fourth
Yeah, that is him.
forest. I've never found one in a
All
One's,
right.
like, right next to it.
So we got that part covered. Again, we're drawing everything in pretty lightly. Now we're going to start shading in our cavities. So I'm going to just
Give you the diamond axe. I
Just
have,
shade
like,
it
3
in. We
blocks.
can always smooth it out later. I'm not worried about it being perfect. That's what your blender is for, your spreader. Blending stump, as it's called. All right, now this side, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to actually, the cavity itself that goes into the skull is kind of in the back. So we're going to draw like a little square, like kind of a misshapen square a little bit back here. This is going to be fully shaded in.
I saw a little one.
Then you're going to, from the corner of this square, it's going to actually angle up. And this will be ever so lightly shaded in, but not as dark as this part. And then similarly, this will be even lighter shaded in. And I'm just like basically barely moving my pencil over it. We're going to also shade in between the teeth. Really accent how bad off our guy's mouth is. Maybe he got punched in the teeth a few times, or he chipped a tooth trying to open a package. All right, now right here, I had to shade this in, but I'm just erasing because we're going to actually, from this back tooth here, there's like a little, like it kind of comes up in the back. Like that. You've got that line there. And then on the other side, it comes down.
I might have to rewatch this tomorrow because I'm really tired.
Okay.
It was Jack.
I'm just shading this in. I didn't hear anything. Okay.
I'm gonna stay on, but I'm not gonna draw.
Okay. That sounds good. Did I ever see your elephants?
I didn't do them. That was the day I wasn't feeling very artsy.
But you didn't do them at all? You didn't go back and watch?
No, I was really not happy. But I loved your elephants.
All right. So I widened this part of the jaw a little bit. This was the area that I struggled a little bit with in proportion. And there's going to be a back part of the jaw, like right here. I'm just shading in on a little bit there. And then right below, there's like this little area, like right under here. It's the back of the skull. It's like, it's actually kind of back here. It's the base of the skull. There's actually like little holes back there. You can feel them if you put your thumbs on the back of your head, like on both sides. You can actually feel like at the base of your skull those little holes. They use it a lot in massage because it releases a lot of tension. So I'm just going to shape this a little bit more. I'm going to shape this area just a little bit more. And I'm going to give him, or her, but I think it's a him, a little bit rounder skull. And I'm also going to make the cheek on this side kind of come down a little bit farther. Yep, I'm liking that better. Faux show. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use a little bit darker pencil. So I'm going to use my Silky Black number 3. And I'm going to do some of these areas a little bit darker because now if you're using a number 2 pencil, you can just press down a little bit harder. Basically, you're just going to go over it several more times. But the reason I'm doing this is because these are deep, deep cavities that go well into the skull. And so they're holes. So since we're going to be putting some other shading in this, by the way, we're almost done. Skull studies don't take that long. Even if you're looking at a real skull, it doesn't take that long to draw. The human figure doesn't actually take that long to draw, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, maybe just because I've practiced a lot. Molly, you know what I want to do again soon? Is go roller skating. We haven't gone roller skating in a while. And Molly is silent. All right, so I'm getting in all these cavities here. Cavity meaning hole, not, well, that is what a cavity in your tooth is, but And I'm just making these even darker. Really accenting how dark these areas are. All right, now I'm going to take my 2B pencil again, and I'm going to start shading some other areas of the skull. And this is going to be basically the last part that we do. So the first thing is that the skull is facing away from us. So I'm going to shade up here and across the back because the light is shining right on the forehead. And this gives the illusion that it's rounded, that it's receding back in space. And we've got some shadows back here. There's actually like a little triangular indentation here, but it's not quite a hole, so it's not going to be as dark as this other area. And then this will also come around here, because right here on the side we actually have, it's like indented just a little bit. And I'm just lightly shading here. Now, right here, with the jawline, I'm going to come in come up, and this is going to be our temple on the left side of it's out right side to us, his left side. And since that's indented a little bit, we're going to just add a little bit of shading there. Let's see, we'll add some shading down here in front of the eye, like across the top of the teeth there. And we'll add some shading here. Okay. Now let's see, at the top of the nose, we've got shading that comes in right here at the top of the eyebrows, or like where the eyebrows and the bridge of the nose meet. Got kind of a triangular thing going on there. And then our forehead, which is a little bit like a triangle. And there's some shading over here. This is like the area right there at the top of the temple where it meets the eye. And that's shaded over there. Some shading on the cheek over here. Let's see, we'll have some shading on the teeth. Shading right under the nose. All right, we're getting really close to getting the blending stick, and I'm going to tell you how to do it if you don't have a blending stick. And I'm just shading the teeth a little bit like on the right hand side. Sometimes it's like a little backwards L. Am I missing any other shading? I don't think so. Okay. The blending stump. Now, if you don't have a blending stump, you can take either a paper towel or a piece of paper and crumble it up. Take your number 2 pencil, stick it in the paper. So I'm just going to use a Kleenex for effect, but I would use something heavier like a paper towel. And this, you will use this as your blending stump that you can shade in. You can also use your finger. I'm going to use this guy. So I'm just going to start blending everything in. Now my spreader is already a little dirty, meaning that I've used it before. And that's what's handy about having a spreader, because you can use that dirty spreader to like spread even where I didn't shade. All right. I'm just going to shade in the teeth. And like I said, we didn't really put a whole lot down here, so it's just kind of, we're just using the dirty spreader at that point. Spread inside the eyes for sure. Then we got to get that forehead. That might have been a little darker than I wanted it to be. So what you can do is take your eraser and just dab at it. So sorry, that's very loud, I know. And then what you do, oops. You just go back over it with your spreader, and so there's still something there. It'll just be very light now. Spread in here. We're almost done. All right, there's one finishing touch, or I should say two finishing touches that I would like to add. That's our skull. All right, two finishing touches. I would like to add a crack right here, because how did he die? We don't know, but I'm going to say mine got hit on the head. So I'm adding a crack right here. And then I'm also going to add one coming down from the eye. Got hit in the eye too. He had a little fight before he died. I'm just going to kind of blend these areas here, so it's not quite as bright. The skull would be kind of dingy after a while. There. All right. So Flex said he was stretching because he'd been sitting too long. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and sign this. So, taking a look at this, I definitely have some opportunity for improvement. Now, I want to show you guys something. In my lesson plan, there is an original. I'm going to show you. Let's see. Hold on. Screen share. All right, so this is the original from an actual skull. This was what the person did, and that's what I've been following. This is what, like, the person who made this this lesson plan here. was, this is what they did. So that's what I've been following. Okay. But you can see here that there are some differences. I'm actually okay with the way mine turned out. But you can see like how they got some of these marks, like, like this. It looks a little weird that it's shaped like that, but guess what? That's how it's shaped in the picture as well. So I'm going to bring us back to mine. All right, so first thing I notice is that mine is tilted a little bit, so it needs to come down, like my angles are just a little bit. So this would, come down a little bit. And maybe this would be angled a little less. Other than that, I think I did okay. I don't know. Molly, what do you think? Molly doesn't think anything about it. Well, I think I did okay. I'm happy with it. Like I said, I could do this again because it was so fast. Because we've only been here 45 minutes. So, and the first 10 minutes of that at least was just me explaining Discord and all of that stuff. So this only took like 30 minutes to do, really. So you could do this multiple times. It'd be cool if you could get your hands on an actual skull, even from like a Halloween shop or something like that. Get a skull and set it up, because you can get it so where the lighting is a certain way, and like you look at it from different lighting. That's the whole point of still life, is to study something from many different angles. And yours would have taken hours. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe. I don't think so though. I think like skull, even faces go pretty fast usually. Like it doesn't take that long. So, okay. That was it for the drawing stream. So join me Thursday night at 7 p.m. We will be doing a painting called Sandy Shells. I'm excited about it. It's beachy. It's a new one that I've never done before. So I'm excited. It will be acrylic painting. And that will be my very last stream for a while, unless I post differently. But I won't be doing any more scheduled streams for at least a month or so. Until I figure out the whole job situation and all of that. So, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining me. And, you said you have trouble with faces. You have no idea why. It depends on your focus. Well, maybe try that. Maybe like try, like I said, do you have like little Halloween stores and things like that in the UK? If you do, like I said, you could probably go find a skull. I mean, even Amazon, you could probably find a skull pretty cheap, because they use them like in medical. You can buy a medical skeleton. I've bought medical skeletons before. I used to set them up in my yard, like not even at Halloween time. I just set them up in my yard, like doing different things. Like one of them would be like sitting on the front porch, just hanging out, that kind of thing. You get it in the photos. They're okay, but you can do better. Photos are okay, but even this, like if I had a live one, I think alive. Obviously, it's a skull; it wouldn't be live. But if I had like a real still life, like an actual still life of this, it would look significantly different, because, and like I said, then you can change it and look at it from different angles, and just practice studying the human skull, and it'll make you better at drawing faces too. So I actually highly recommend that you grab one of these if you can. Like I said, I'm pretty sure you can get them on Amazon, just like plaster skulls or whatever. I mean, especially since it's coming up on Halloween time, there's bound to be some out there. Not plastic, plaster. It makes a difference in how the light shines on it and everything. So, okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, Flux. I know it's pretty late for you, but I appreciate you hanging in there and sticking with me tonight. Thank you, Molly, for coming on, even though you were tired.
You're welcome.
And everybody have a wonderful night. I will see you on Thursday.